blame you anyways.
Hey everybody, how are you doing? Here's your favorite host, and today we are going to review Far Cry 4. So it might have been a while since the game was released, but we are making a review about it because Far Cry 4 is still a very beloved game today. To start off, Far Cry 4 is an open world action-adventure first-person shooter developed and published by Ubisoft. If you don't know what Ubisoft is, it's one of the biggest game studios out there. We've also produced games like the Assassin's Creed series and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. The game was released 18 November 2014, which is almost 2 years ago now, which makes it remarkable how much this game is still played to this day. Its successor, Far Cry Primal, was released in the first quarter of 2016, but hasn't quite lived up to the expectations of the Far Cry series, even though the major gaming guys scored it only slightly lower than Far Cry 4. When we look at the amount of people searching for Far Cry Primal on Google, we see a peak during the months the game was released, which was around March-February. If you compare this however to the peak Far Cry 4 experienced during its release in November 2014, there's a major difference in favor of Far Cry 4. What stands out even more is the peak we see in autumn 2012 when Far Cry 3 was first released. It may be obvious that Far Cry 3 really is the game that revived the series, and also one of the main reasons for the success of Far Cry 4. When we look at the summer months of 2016, we already see that there's more interest for Far Cry 4 than Far Cry Primal again. Now what then makes Far Cry 4 such a good game? First, let's talk about the setting. Every once in a while you come around a game that is more than just a video game, and that's definitely the feeling I got while playing Far Cry 4. The storyline takes place in a fictional country called Kyrat. There are, however, many indicators that this is the equivalent of modern day Nepal, with some fiction added on top of course. Both the real country Nepal and the fictional country Kyrat lie on the Himalayas. According to the story, the main character AJ Gale travels through India into Kyrat, so essentially the entire journey is some sort of a climb, from lowland India to the high mountains. As you progress in the game, you repeatedly come to higher and higher regions until you find yourself at 7,000 meters altitude. With higher altitude, the roughness of the environment and the climate also increase. This sort of represents the main character's constant struggle with things getting increasingly difficult. The thing that makes this game so unique though is the attention for detail. It is very clear that the game developers did a lot of research on the country and the people, and that shows. While playing the game, you feel like you really are part of this culture and get an understanding of the country and how it is run. The strength of Ubisoft games has always been their games are very immersive wherever the story takes place, and you can clearly see that back in Far Cry 4. Throughout the map you can discover various temples and murals that are actually all part of the mythology of this region. There are also prayer wheels to be found if you look closely. And even a karma system was implemented because it would be more in line with the general beliefs and religion of the people living in this region. Using the karma system you can gain karma points by helping people fight the royal army or saving them from wild animals. This will give you various rewards like discounts and weapon unlocks. There's even the possibility to enter a mythological heavenly world by the name of Shangri-La. This is all in accordance with the mythology of this region. Moving on to the gameplay. Far Cry 4 is actually a surprisingly great shooter, on top of a solid open world game. Even though some missions specifically require you to use either stealth or just killing everyone, the choice is usually left up to the player, which is refreshing. The weapon system is a lot like the one used in Far Cry 3, with some weapons even being the exact same, like the Shredder. However, there are a lot more guns to choose from. You can either choose to buy normal weapons and customize them with your own attachments, or buy signature weapons. These are pre-customized weapons, which are often very powerful, but a lot of times also require a special unlock, like a certain number of radio towers destroyed, or a certain karma level. Traveling is a big part of the game. You constantly have to get from outpost to outpost or to hunting grounds. Fortunately, traveling is very smooth. You can fast travel to any outpost, fortress or main location after it is unlocked at the click of a button. However, you can also choose to travel by yourself. There are many ways of transport, including cars you can grab at nearly every outpost. On top of that, there's even a radio host, Robbie Rana, that you can listen to while driving in all liberated areas.
They sleep in tents every night, they're always moving around, and that's no way to live. That's probably like shit in boxes. And don't even mention how these guys shower. I mean, they have to probably set up a
Good reason to start working on those radio towers quickly. You can also use other forms of transportation, like helicopters and amusingly even elephants after you unlock the elephant rider skill in the skill menu. Elephants can be found in certain regions in the map and are extremely useful while liberating outposts or hunting rhinos because they serve as a natural tank, even though they can die. Talking about hunting, let's get into that. The game features more extensive version of the crafting system used in Far Cry 3, which means you have to hunt specific animals and use their hides to craft specific objects like wallets, ammo bag or weapon holsters. The same goes for plants, which can be used to craft syringes to heal yourself or give other buffs. The story missions are very interesting. There are two characters, Amita and Sabal, constantly fighting over how to handle certain issues. In every one of these missions you have to pick a side to help one of the two and let the other down. This will also have consequences for the rest of the game. Besides that, there are various other characters that require your assistance. Longinus is a drug smuggler with psychological issues, and Jogi and Reggie are two drug experimenters who fled from India to Kyrat after being chased by the police. The antagonist, Pagan Min, is also a particularly odd character, which keeps the players guessing what his next move will be.
You couldn't fucking do that! And I got blood on my fucking shells.
The graphics of this game are great, absolutely no problem there. The game seems to run smooth without any major problems, and like I said before, the attention of detail is amazing. One of the things Far Cry 4 got a little criticism for is the story. As the main character, it is like you're always on the go and don't really spend enough time with each character for proper character development. Also, you know fairly little about AJ's background, which might leave players wondering why they are even doing all these missions. It is clear that in Far Cry 3, the focus was more on the main character himself and how he had to deal with the things happening. In Far Cry 4, it's more about the nation as a whole. Adding up, I can say that I would definitely recommend Far Cry 4, as it is a true classic and a game that doesn't easily lose popularity. The replay value is also high due to all the choices and different missions you can choose from. That's why I give this game an 8.8 out of 10. If you enjoyed watching the video or you found this review useful, please like and subscribe. Let's roll the outro music. Peace guys.